If you're a business owner in Chicago, or honestly really any place in the US right now, it is past time for you to be very familiar about what your rights are and what you should do if ICE were to show up at your business. If you just Google what to do if immigration comes to your business, this very helpful document will come up from the National Employment Law Project, and you should print it out and read it and become very familiar. And I would also suggest that you give it to all of your employees. I had a meeting with my employees a few months ago about this to make sure everybody was kind of on the same page about what we should do if ICE were to ever show up here. We're about to do it again today because it's been a few months and everything is ramping up in Chicago right now. The biggest thing to note is that ICE can come into any public part of your space. So if there's anything that's open to the public, they are allowed to enter without your permission. But they are not allowed to enter any private spaces in your business without a judicial warrant signed by a judge or your permission. If you don't already have private spaces marked, I would highly suggest you put signage on any private spaces in your business so that it is very clear where they are not allowed to enter. My entire business is a private space. We are not open to the public. So we have it clearly marked on our door that only ticketed guests are allowed to enter and we are not open to the public. We keep our door locked and we only unlock it for ticketed guests and like delivery drivers and things. If ICE were to show up to the door, we would talk to them through the locked door and ask them for a judicial warrant signed by a judge before we would ever unlock the door to them. Now, that's not to say that they might not still enter anyways, because there are a lot of things that are happening right now that aren't exactly legal. So if they were, or just honestly, even if they're there at all, I would recommend just start recording. All of my employees have permission to take out their phones and start recording if immigration was to ever show up at our business. Record everything and continue saying on camera, do you have a judicial warrant signed by a judge? You also aren't required to answer any of their questions. If they're trying to ask you about employees that have worked that day, just continue saying, do you have a judicial warrant signed by a judge? If they want to see I-9 paperwork, you legally have 3 days to provide that paperwork to them. You do not have to take it out. And if this were to happen to you, you should contact an immigration lawyer immediately. If you're thinking that you don't need to worry about this right now because you do not have any undocumented people working for you, you're being very naive about what is happening in Chicago and in the rest of the country right now. People are absolutely being racially profiled. An entire apartment complex was cleared out in the middle of the night the other day, and every single person was detained before they even had the chance to show documentation. They did not have warrants. They even detained children. So yes, this is an unprecedented time, and it is our responsibility as business owners to protect our employees when they are at our business. Make sure you know the law, make sure you know your rights, make sure your entire staff knows the protocol if ICE were to show up. Do it today.